Bringing the family.
I am. I'm excited to explore Rocky Mountain National Park and go on that rafting thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna read all about it in the newspaper.
Are you going on
Yes.
the
It's like another River Wild.
going on the family raft? Little 4-man deal.
Started off as a family rafting trip. Sunny day. Things went wrong.
That's true.
Jeremy, where's the picnic basket? Started off with not a lunch. He became hungry. Real hungry.
Jeremy, what happened to the map? I threw the map away. What?
That stupid map.
Yeah, it was too heavy.
Yeah.
I wiped my face with it with the lunch.
Yeah, it was too.
With
It
that
was
secret
too heavy
lunch.
from all the feces in it, as
Oh
it
my
was the only piece of paper we had.
It's family paper. The family feces paper.
The communal map.
My son literally took a shit on that.
I thought it was a mountain. It was just shit.
We're lost. These shit mountains. Well, we're just writing it. Netflix, pick it up. Pick it up with your trillions of dollars. Well, I think
Shit mountains.
that brings us back to our own further adventures. Hi, welcome back. We are Rabbit Troop Sucks, and we are a podcast about obscure, forgotten about, and yes, often overlooked films. And as always, I'm Paul, and next to me is Mike.
Yo.
I wasn't expecting
No.
that. Whoa. There's Lamar.
Hello, everybody.
And there is Jeremy Wild.
Argo.
Oh. And Colin, if you're listening to this episode, we hope you're feeling better. Colin has been sick.
I don't.
Oh.
Jesus.
Jesus
Stay
Christ.
perpetually sick.
Yeah, Colin, we hope you're feeling better. You got the plague. And he was sad that he missed out on today's episode, The Further Adventures of Tennessee Buck, 1988. And we can make all the jokes. The buck stops here. He's the original Bucky Barnes. Buck, this was a movie.
My name's
what's
Buck,
the-
and I like to
Yeah, there it is.
I can't
There it is.
party.
You gotta fucking be
course.
kidding me that we watched this movie? Says David Keith, the director and star of this film.
Not to be confused with Keith David, a different person who's better.
No, Keith, oh yes, infinitely better, with just God's voice. And a good actor that we've now reviewed several times, or a couple times recently. Men at Work and The Quick and the Dead.
I was trying to explain what I was doing tonight to my in-laws who we were having a cookout with this afternoon.
Wait, like that you do a podcast?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that I do a podcast, what it was, and what we were watching. And they're like, is anyone in it? I was like, David Keith is in it. They're like, you mean Keith David? Like, no. I don't mean that. They're like, no, his name's Keith David. It's like, he's the guy from this movie. And that I was like, I know.
No,
it's not him.
No, he's Dollar Store
Yeah.
Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, this is
right?
a different
Think about
person.
That. That's
Yeah, he's Timu Patrick Swayze.
Yeah. That's pretty accurate. That's and sad. There's a lot of layers to that. Like Patrick Swayze's dead and was a ghost.
Yeah.
But he went to Timu and spiritually resurrected him. And
Patrick
he moved
Swayze saw this movie. Someone compared him to him, and he died.
Yeah.
yeah. He's like, I'm not gonna quit smoking now.
Yeah. He came behind you, gave you a hug, and he was like, "Oh wait, this? No,
No.
no."
So this is the movie that did him in.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's like, I'm not making a fucking pot with this bozo.
But this is the movie that skyrocketed Kathy Shower's career.
Oh, yeah.
You got that right, man.
I feel once she was in this, Fame and Fortune,
Sounds like
Dr. Jones.
sounds like a porn
Happy
name.
showers.
I
does.
mean,
Has she been in anything else? I did not.
she was in
Oh,
Commando
she's
Squad.
been in other- She has a lot of private films.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
You say private films?
It's not what she's been in, it's what's been in her.
Yeah, Commando Squad from 1987.
right.
L.A. Goddess from 1993.
Oh, okay.
Baja Run from 1990.
These are all softcore
course.
porns, right? From like hotel rooms in the 80s.
I mean, these were movies that Kathy Shower was in.
Yeah.
And I can say that because I looked her up on the internet. And she seemed proud of that.
I don't know if they were movies. They were films.
Video films?
They were tapes.
Lamar, they were one man's vision while record was being pressed.
They were visuals.
You know what they say about Kathy Showers? It brings me.
I knew it was going there.
So yeah. I mean, we got the original crew back together. We got
Oh boy.
Kathy
From
Shower
the adventures before this
and
one.
David Keith. God, I hope so. In some format. I mean, I'm sure someone wrote something. They're like, "Oh my God, I wrote a prequel to this movie." Like people are gonna like freak out, and people are like, "Yeah, people are already freaking out. You owe 'em money."
Yeah.
And David Keith's like, "What?" And they're like, "You snorted it away." He's like, "I am Tennessee Buck."
The director of the movie as well.
Yeah.
This sounds like a real
He did
conversation.
I saw that and I was like, oh, we're in for a wild ride now.
Yeah.
It was a wild ride. I want to know something about the writers. Sorry, let me take out this crazy flame pen or this flame light. Writers. Paul Mason. He wrote King Kong vs. Godzilla in 1963. I thought that was kind of a cool little note there. And he was the producer of Killer Clowns from Outer Space in 1988.
Oh, nice.
Like seriously, like think about just like times then 63 to 88. Like what a. I mean, that guy's still going. I mean, was still going at that time. So that's just kind of crazy.
88 was a busy year for him.
Yeah. So that's kind of crazy. And then Barry Jacobs and Stuart Jacobs, I assume brothers, they wrote the screenplay to this. They also wrote the screenplay to Fame in 1987 and a ton of episodes of Chips and the Fall Guy. And I was like, I was like, all right. Like, and after seeing this movie, I'm like, I believe kind of a lot of this.
So they got the screenplay writers from Chips and the Fall Guy and the main writer from King Kong versus Godzilla and put them together in a room and chucked this thing out
Yeah.
with Mr. David Keith.
That's their big player. You got him.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Now, Sidney Lassick, and I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. He's in the beginning. He's Wolfgang Meyer. He's like setting up like, oh, I've got like this guide for you for Ken and for Barbara.
Baby.
Yeah, baby Barbara.
It's Barbara.
Baby Billy
He's like
Bible
Ernest
Bonkers.
Borgnine with a disease, though.
Yeah.
Oh, thinking about Baby Billy Bible Bonkers and Walton Goggins. Rabbit Troop Sucks follows Colorado Parks and Recreation on Instagram. And shout out to them. I sent this to my wife. It was a page because we had a really nice day today. It was like 75 degrees. It was super sunny. My wife and I took our daughter to the park. It was awesome. Just a really nice day. And the Colorado Parks and Recreation sent out just a picture. They're like, follow this advice or whatever they wrote. And it was a baby Billy, and it just said, "Go outside, nerd." But Sidney Lassick plays Wolfgang. He's the guy who sets this up in the beginning. This guy actually is in stuff. I mean, this guy would be, I would say, your major player in all of this. He's in a One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and Carrie. I'm like, okay, so like you're in legitimate films.
Yeah. If you've seen a lot of movies of that era, you might recognize this guy.
Yes, I mean,
I for sure did. His voice is very unique.
Yeah, he died at 80 years old in 2003. So like a newer audience wouldn't have seen this guy. As soon as I saw him too, Mike, it was his voice. I was like, who is this guy? And yeah, so like and he's not in it a lot. Like he's in it for like, I don't know, 5 minutes tops, like kind of in a couple broken scenes. That was all probably filmed in one day. But I would say he is your big player, like of this movie, of this time.
As far as like known actors.
And especially of 1988.
For sure.
Yeah, so like Keith David's probably like, I'm sorry, woof. That was the real actor. David Keith. We just got Keithed. David Keith is probably like, I'm the director and the, like the producer or whatever he is and the star of this, but probably standing next to him, he's like, oh, this guy's been in real stuff. So.
Right. Well, somewhere someone was like, you can direct this, but you have to hire an actor that someone knows about. It can't just be you and Sidney Showers,
And he's
or
like,
whatever the fuck his name is.
And he's like, yes. Sidney Lassick as a Wolfgang Meyer. He's like, I'm going to give this guy a crazy shitload of money and probably drugs for one day as a film. One day of filming.
He got to keep the medallion at the end.
That's probably how you get other cast members that sign up to, hey, we got Sidney Lassick
They're like,
for like 3 minutes.
and they're like, drugs, you say?
They're like, yeah, that's what I said.
They're like, wow, that's the Tennessee Buck.
In the dressing room right now.
Ding dong railgun.
Doing a line of Chuck.
Chucking and bucking.
Yeah, I usually so anyone who does listen to this, I'd usually prepare my notes like a little ahead of time, just like who's in the movie, a couple notable things. just like one page. I do this about a week ahead of time, just so it's all ready to go. And then when we watch the movie, I just take scant notes and, go through it. So my last note on this page one, like I write the notable people who wrote this, who directed this, etc. Like what episode number this is for us, kind of some basic stuff. But then I just wrote to myself, I wrote Indiana Jones ripoff, David Keith, what? And I just wrote, ha, ha, ha. And I didn't remember writing any of that.
I do like how they completely ripped off the hat gags directly from Indiana Jones. Like they didn't even hide it.
Oh, yeah. And we'll talk about the Ewok scene that they ripped off from Return of the Jedi. So this movie is just stealing from everyone. I don't know what the goal of this is, but let's get to a synopsis. A broke alcoholic guide leads a rich couple on a jungle hunting trip, but grows suspicious of their true motives as the expedition progresses. All right, so this movie, I think we're going to have to take this movie in kind of like a weird step by step, like the majority of the movie, and then the last 20 minutes when this movie gets ultra effing dark and almost unnecessary for me. Because but outside of the last 20 minutes, this movie is a low-budget Indiana Jones ripoff. Okay, we knew this going into. No one in Rabbit Troop Sucks had seen this movie. Most people in the world probably haven't even heard of this. This is what we're here about, obscure movies. So we will get to the last 20 minutes, but like, guys, knowing what we know now, I overall had a bit of fun up until the last 20 minutes of this movie.
Well, I don't even mind the last 20 minutes. There's a period of 5 minutes after about an hour and 10 minutes of this movie that go to weird places. But after we're through with that, it's business as usual.
It is.
That is true.
We all agree that this movie has, because I would say it's cut into half. I would say halfway through this movie, things got zany. But we all agree that there's a moment in time where this movie just kind of went a little different, and we all agree that there's gaps in this movie that are just not in sync with the rest of the movie.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, King Solomon's Mines.
Why are you doing that?
Well, no,
Zany from start to finish.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of like the vibe of that film, and I think that's what this film is overall trying to go for. And then we get to the last parts of the film, and I'm like, oh my god. Like, why did anyone think any of this is okay and approve this? Like, the zaniness is out the goddamn window at the end of this film. Like, it is not fun for me in almost any capacity at the end.
And
I know the moment that you're bringing up, all of this movie just feels out of sync to me. That moment specifically.
Yeah, I agree with you. This movie is like a series of sequences out of sync overall.
Right.
But especially that. Like, zany time is over, and this movie is now like a horror film. I was like, oh my God.
But only for a second.
Yeah.
And it also, that moment happens almost directly after easily the zaniest part of this movie.
Also true. Stay tuned, Rabbit Troop Sucks fans.
We'll get there, I guess.
We'll enlighten you on the
I want to talk about it so bad.
That's true. It deserves a build-up.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, my notes are kind of scant on this. Like, it really is, like, as Lamar's pointing out, like a disjointed movie. And as I said, like a sequence of events. Like, things are happening. How they're kind of glued and transitioned together is rough times. Things to note kind of in the backdrop, like a really good soundtrack for the time. Like, there's moments, like there's one moment where I'm like, who, like when the chief jumps out, like we'll talk about that.
Yeah, that's the zany moment.
But
it's like Big Bad Voodoo Daddy playing or something.
But they're like, the soundtrack itself is kind of on brand.
Oh, it's wild.
Yeah, well, it's like a lot of it's on brand for what like an adventure movie would be. And I'm like, okay. So, like, that's kind of a positive. There's some definitely cinematography that's, like, pretty good for 1988. Like, you get this, like, panoramic view of the jungle and stuff like that. I'm like, so there's some positives even, and I'm saying all this because, again, this is a movie that is low budget and is clearly trying to rip off, this Indiana Jones vibe. So we really are introduced to Kenneth, and Barbara, or Baby, and they are well-to-do people who are traveling upriver because Ken wants to hunt a white tiger.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah, I already hate this guy.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
He's the
I have in my notes like I want these people to die.
he's the
they need to
stereotypical
die.
like Ken and Barbie.
I was okay with Barbara,
Yeah.
but yeah, Ken's a douche.
Yeah, I was gonna say I actually am okay with Barbara too. Like Barbara seems like an a-hole, and she seems really persnickety and like up her own A. But she didn't like want to go on this trip and doesn't really want any part of that. And that's like the part I could respect. Like,
She's uppity, but she's self-aware. She's like, I am a fancy bitch, and this sucks.
right, and she's also like, I don't really want to go hunting, and
Right.
none of this like is for me. He's like, I'm gonna hunt a white tiger. I'm like, you're an asshole.
Yeah, why did she go with him? I would have been like, yeah, I'm not going.
Wasn't
to do
this their
Like, you
honeymoon?
want to go into
Yeah.
the backwoods of India? Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah, this is their honeymoon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she was like told one thing. That's kind of what I'm gathering. She's like, this is going to be first class. And he's like, hey, baby, this is first class.
Yeah.
She's like, this sucks.
It was a first-class boat, river raft.
Little Tugger.
Little Tugger.
That's
Yeah.
what it was.
Everyone listening, you should Google that. Little Tugger.
Yeah.
XXX.
Yeah, you have to put the, you have to
Safe
put
search
that at the end.
off.
Yeah.
As long as you're searching it at work, it's going to be fun.
Oh yeah.
Just call your boss in. Tell them you're listening to NPR.
Right. Say this is for research.
Yeah. This is for the office. This is for your family.
So Ken's a delusional douche, and she's just self-aware douche.
Yes.
And-
And that's where they meet this guy Meyer. I mean, they're talking like, oh, my father knew this guy, Wolfgang Meyer. He set him up with all these expeditions upriver. He gives all like my dad's like friends and my dad like the best hunting guides. He set us up with the best hunting guide. This is going to be great. And she's like, man,
I'm sorry, can I interrupt for 1 second?
yeah.
You know how I like to see if we can buy domain names on the
Oh,
podcast.
there we go.
Little Tugger is not available. It's taken. GoDaddy will often suggest other domain names that are similar. Little Tugger being taken, it thought the next best option would be kidtugger.com.
Nope.
Yikes.
Which is available for 1 penny. We
So-
could own
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
So AI at its finest, like tearing down society, potentially ruining people's lives. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Oh, get the Escalade.
Wow.
They got me.
You weren't ready for Kid Tugger, were you?
No.
Jeremy, wake up
I
the
was
kids. Wake up, tell Amy to get out of the house.
Colin, tell your wife to go to kidtugger.com.
Are you on the second floor? Do you have one of those like escape ladders? Use it.
No, I'm in the first floor. It's just I just turn around and leap out.
Can you escape ladder up? Can you like grappling hook it up to the second floor and climb up?
No,
Sorry.
no.
I
I'm already on the bus out of
derailed
town, man.
Wow.
If you are running down the street later tonight yelling Little Tugger, film it. Let us know. Yeah, so this guy Meyer's like, yes, all of this is according to plan. And he's kind of villainous. I guess he's not. He's just a bad tour guide, setter-upper. I don't really know what to say beyond that. Tennessee Buck is bucking around. He's doing some stuff. He rolls
Well, he
up.
had killed some alligators.
He's got some
and
alligator
He's selling the skins.
pelts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, too.
And he's
or
covered
the-
from head to toe in like gore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like drunk in his boat covered in blood.
Yeah, I like the Tennessee Buck style. He is often drinking from like a square leather sack.
Yeah.
And they have multiple, I noticed. Like they had like I don't know, like basically bowl of them that they loaded up on the boat.
The sack bowl.
Like a cooler.
Yeah.
Like the
of
cooler.
sacks.
It's a
Yeah.
long trip. He's going to need more than one sack.
Yeah, yakety sacks. It's running around that boat
sad.
playing grab ass
Yeah.
with an alligator pelt.
Yeah.
He's off the boat. He's on the boat. His assistant, Sangria, is going around. I don't know. This is sublime.
Too
song.
high for this.
Sangria, the Sublime song.
Yes, all of those things. C.
Yeah. So he gets to like the port town or whatever the fuck it is.
Are we leading to the elephant rampage?
I wanted to talk about
my God.
I wanted to talk about Argo for a second.
Sure.
What was this? Like, who came up with this?
I don't know.
They couldn't have gone a different route than just this whatever this was.
He gets off the boat and is immediately entered in like a fight contest.
Yeah.
Oh, Tennessee Buck is.
Tennessee
yes.
Buck is, yeah.
So the backdrop is Tennessee Buck is like, my God, why does this guy Argo want to fight me again? And Mike's going to note, because I'm going to give this mic to Mike in a second, that the first scene of this, Argo looks ginormous. Argo looks like he's like 12 feet tall. Like that's a kind of almost good on the camera guy, like maybe director, like maybe the old Keith himself.
Yeah.
That this guy looks huge, and it's like, oh man, he's got to fight this guy. And he's like, why do I need to fight him? And then they show this woman, and he's like, I don't know who this woman is. And she's like, Bucky. And he's like, I don't know who the hell this is. And then she kind of shows him the side of her ass. And he's like, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And he's like, yeah, I'll fight Argo.
Yeah.
And there we go. Argo.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to note the camera angle because then during the fight, he's as big as
It's quite
Buck.
clear that, yeah, Buck is maybe even a little taller
Yeah.
than Argo.
The buck stops here.
Yeah. And he gets he beats Argo with an alligator pelt, I think. And a
and
nut kick.
Argo can't talk. He can only scream his
You
name.
say Argo, yeah.
Argo? Like
Argo.
Yeah. Like he's like Zeus. He just says his name
That's right.
and Duke.
If you take Tennessee Buck as like the poor man's Star-Lord, you're going to get through this movie a lot easier.
Okay.
So this is like the schlubbiest version of Chris Pratt. I believe it.
Excellent.
Isn't Chris Pratt just the schlubby version of Chris Pratt?
He's the turducken
I see.
of David Keith.
Which
part?
Yeah.
Turducken.
is he all of the parts?
It's the parts when they're meshed up,
I see.
when they're bound.
He's the inner layers between a duck and a turkey and a chicken, whatever the hell makes up a turducken.
Yeah, they're like the fat gels, and you gotta like fist it a little.
He's
And
the
like,
snooty.
no, and they're like, you need to wear a glove, and it's like it's too late. I'm already arm deep, and you're like, turducken.
The fight scenes in this movie, they suck. They're horrible.
Except this one, I like this one because it was playful. It was way too long, but I like this playful. I mean, what Argo was throwing him around
Throwing
like
him-
cabbages
There-
and shit.
Yeah, there's like 3 tables of the village's produce and meats, and that's
They're
the first.
starving now.
Right,
The
and-
village, like, fuck, we're
Jeremy,
all
that's what I was
screwed.
saying when we were watching it. I was like, you think someone in the village would be like, listen, no matter what's going to happen, just get away from our goddamn food. Like,
Can you
go
fucking do this somewhere else?
Yeah, like Argo, we're not going to eat for like a month, dude. Like, Argo, sad?
And where did Argo come from?
Argo nums.
He did emerge out of
I
something.
know they're in
didn't
like
he, the
India,
scene?
and Argo's like this giant white.
Well, yeah,
dude with,
that's what I'm wondering.
Like
Like,
hair and like a beard.
why is he there? Is just to like beat up dudes?
Yes, that's his only job.
I see.
I mean, he's aware.
And he failed at this one.
That's why he's like, I don't know what these people are saying, dude.
Yeah.
I just know my name, Argo.
That's why he's so
Right,
mad. He's only said his name for so long because no one knows what the fuck he's talking about.
That's fair.
Speaking of out of place white people, the Bucky lady and then another one later, were these women painted brown?
Maybe.
There's a lot of evidence that says yes.
Okay.
But why?
Well, I mean,
that
but
is
like you guys
so
noticed
weird.
that too, right? Because
Yeah,
Paul,
yeah,
you
their
mentioned
body-
it with this one.
Yeah, especially here, like this woman that he's with. Like Mike noticed this later for someone else, and then in this one, I was like, I noticed on this one, it almost seemed like a spray tan in areas.
It looked like a very aggressive spray tan.
Yeah.
I kind of thought that might be the case at this one, but then later there's like a big titty woman dancing, and clearly the paint under her tits is rubbing off as she's going.
that was due to
her face.
the velocity and magnitude
Yeah,
of them. Titties.
Yeah, they were big.
She was
Those
whipping
were
him
bananas.
around too, so
Yeah.
fuck.
she was really getting after it. That was just a weird. Why did they do this?
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
I have no idea why, but it was very evident that could have been something in play.
Yeah,
I think they did it
because.
because if you take a person and paint them, you are paying one cost for the price of 2 people, you know? Like we can use her later in the background.
You double down.
that's that. Yeah,
That's the Keith
thinking.
way.
Wow. Oh man,
Keith, you're over budget. What are you gonna do? I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna
Paint
paint
the
this bitch.
ladies.
he double dipped.
You spent too much money on oil.
I mean,
You gotta.
if you look up in the trivia, he was noted as the MacGyver of films. So there you go. I think you guys figured that one out.
I'm not 100% sure I believe that, but I'm going with it.
Oh yeah.
There are only 2 pieces of trivia on IMDb about this movie.
Yeah, dark trivia.
Yeah, one is what kind of airplane he flies, and then one is like a 3,000 word treatise on the scene that we don't really want to talk about.
Yeah, that's
as written by someone who doesn't speak English.
Yeah, that's great.
It was weird.
Tennessee Buck, 1988.
I kind of no.
Yeah, you can bring it up.
I kind of want to read it. 'Cause, like, it's so bizarre. But
we'll get there. We'll get
we'll
there.
talk. Yeah, we'll get
you
there.
can decide when we get there.
Yeah.
So, basically what happens is, so Kenneth and baby Barbara are like roll up, and she's got a ton of luggage. This is like the story we've all heard. Again, she's like very well-to-do. She's like, here are my 50 bags. And like one guy drops a bag, and then that guy gets like lashed. I was like, it'll never happen again. And they're like, oh, see that it doesn't. And I mean, she's kind of weirded out by this. Ken is really the jackass of all jackasses. So throughout all of this and throughout all the fights, Tennessee Buck is with this woman now, like about to have sex. Mm-hmm. But then why does the elephant get all startled?
Because the dude riding it is whipping the shit out of it.
Oh yeah, a guy just like whips an elephant too much, and now there's an elephant, explosion. I wrote elephant rampage.
Elephant explosion.
Elephant rampage. And then Tennessee Buck just comes out and shoots an elephant. Like this is
right in the face.
Yeah, just guns it down.
A scene
One shot, man.
Yeah, a scene I could really do without. I was like, this elephant didn't do anything. I'm like, you just killed an elephant.
Mike's favorite, like realistic, man.
Mike's favorite animal is an elephant.
Yeah.
He shot it in front of Mike.
It wasn't really stampeding on Barbie or
no,
but it was getting close.
Man.
It was getting close enough to where Tennessee had a trigger finger.
It was like the steamroller in Austin Powers.
Yeah, it was
there
really
was time
slow.
for this.
Yeah, exactly.
The original travel guide falls in the river, and then an elephant like throws a car on top of him. So that guy's
he's gone.
Yeah.
The guy that said egg on face.
Oh God,
that guy seemed like you just shat in his cereal.
You
like,
blew his world.
I mean, it was like that guy like got just activated by that. Like you just like he uncoded like his brain. You saw it happen because that guy was like. So audience, I know we're just kind of rambling. Ken says something like, I've promised all my well-to-do friends back at the club that I'm going to bag this white, tiger. He's like, I don't want to go home with egg on my face. And this is before the original tour guide is killed. And the tour guide goes, egg on face, and walks off. But the look on his face.
Yeah, like he'd seen a monster.
Yeah, someone did something. That's what I'm saying. Like someone took a mental key, unlocked his brain, and destroyed it. Like a villainous thing just happened, and I watched it. And then that guy's killed again by falling in a river and an elephant throwing a car on top of him. It was an omen. Like egg on face means like you're gonna die. But he's super dead, and then they this is an interesting move. They jail Buck. They're like, you can't kill an animal in the village. He's like, I just saved everyone. They're like, I know. We're gonna give you an award, but we're also gonna like put you in a cage. Yeah. And they do. They put him in a cage. But then,
he's doing this because he wants that amulet around.
Well, that's what we
Buck's
find
neck.
out. We find out that he has an amulet. Buck has an amulet around his neck, and part of the backstory is he was given it, and he was told when he gets it that anytime he's wearing it, no one could kill him. And maybe that's true. Maybe it's not.
That's true.
Yeah, that could have been explored a little bit more.
Could have been.
He seems to bleed.
Hey, we're only working with an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah,
here, Mike.
that's
all right. We got to keep it going.
Mike, I told you before, the buck stops here.
It should have stopped somewhere.
Yeah, it's an elephant rampage. Yeah, so Buck is now in a cage, and they sling him up, and then he's cut down. He's cut down good.
It's cut down.
He's got that.
What? He's just in jail.
He's got that a little later.
No, he's cut down because Ken hires him. Ken goes to the place to whoever's in charge, and Ken's like, I'm gonna hire this guy, and they're like, no, dude, he's got to stay in prison. He's like, screw this. I have a bunch of money. I'm gonna pay all his fines, and he does it, and then he hires Buck.
Yeah.
And Buck's like, yeah, well, here's the deal. It's like $250 a day or whatever he says. He's like, you're paying all these fines, and I get some other stuff.
Yeah,
and he's
it
like,
was sacks of rum, I think.
yeah. And yeah, Ken's like, oh my God, I'd pay anything for this.
Because he knows him. He's like a person of note from his adventurers club or whatever.
Yeah, like people have heard of Buck, and Buck's like, that's right. And he's like, I saw you in this adventurers club, and you're amazing. So don't worry about it. We've got the best guide in town. So they pay all this like crazy money, and then that night they celebrate it at the bar in this village.
This bar looked pretty cool. I'd go there.
Ken and Barbara dress holy hell up.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
Are there naked people dancing around at this bar?
maybe.
Yeah,
All the
I
good
did
bars
see a
have naked
couple in
people
the
dancing.
background. You're right, Jeremy. I did see a couple.
Like, yeah, well, this is like rural India. I don't think that that's going to be happening.
No, they're in Myanmar.
Why are you stopping it?
Oh, well,
Why are you
I
policing
still
the
don't
situation?
think so.
Yeah, well, yeah,
You just coming in and giving people shirts? You gonna clothe them?
yeah.
Yeah, I hit him with the t-shirt gun.
There
Knock
you
him
go,
down.
fun police.
Why can't you let the fun happen for us, Jeremy?
My name's Jeremy, and I like to follow all the rules.
You know where I'm from? Not here. Rule book. Hashtag rule book.
No.
Paladin Mike. Rule book Jeremy. Damn it.
The bar scene nothing really happens here, though,
No,
right?
he's drunk
No.
and
It's
he
just for boob.
wasted.
It's just
Well, yeah,
the
basically it highlights that Buck is a huge slob. He is super passed out drunk, but he's with a bunch of women. And then he goes back to this place with some women,
Yeah,
and they're like,
they're
oh my
fighting
God.
over him.
Yeah, it's like two women. What's he up to? Then cutscene. This guy is just ready to go in the morning.
Yeah, he's
crisp.
got a
clean,
hat.
cotton white shirt. It's all washed.
Was he setting up cameras to film himself fucking his wife?
Yeah, Ken was? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
For sure, Ken
Okay.
was.
Yeah, Ken was. Yeah, the night
For
before.
sure.
Yeah, Ken was having sex with his wife and then is sneaking around some cameras. And she's like, what's this? He's like, oh, never.
He wasn't even sneaking. Like, he was setting it up on a tripod right next to their bed.
That's true. Yeah.
She just doesn't know what that is.
No.
I thought it
I
was,
guess they're into that stuff.
Barbara Baby
I'm
isn't
telling you.
super bright, but
You're going to get chiggers in places that you don't want them.
it's their honeymoon.
Wow.
They don't have this.
I thought he was getting his equipment ready for like recording and taking pictures for the next day.
Oh, he was,
what that one is,
he was getting ready to record.
Oh, wow.
And he did record. He sent it to me. It was good stuff.
Good photos. Good.
It's in the
He's
Dropbox.
got a good eye.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after the sex scene that everyone has the night before, everyone's just ready to go. And even Ken, like, is bragging about it. He's like, you should have seen me the night before. And Buck's like, oh, yeah? He's like, oh, yeah. And then Baby Barb wants to put in like 50 pieces of luggage into a plane that could probably house my forearm. And
Yeah, you get maybe a backpack per person.
yeah, so in this plane, you have Buck, you've got the assistant to Buck, you got Barb, and then you've got Ken, and then somehow some bags and maybe some supplies. And then
I've seen these planes, and there is no way that I could get in this plane if there were
If-
3 other people in it.
Kit Cloudkicker could do it. You could do
No.
it, Blue.
This
You
plane
could
would
do it.
not take off. I
You
mean,
have to, like,
I
stick
just
your legs
don't
out the
think it's
bottom
going to
like the
happen, man. You're going to
Flintstones.
need an extra propeller. There's only one propeller.
Yeah.
Just go on a diet.
Was it really just that one propeller at the top?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
one you need. It propels.
Wow.
Do you know that you can buy planes like that in the United States and you do not need a pilot's license to fly them?
Sure.
I can't believe that, actually.
Yeah, those little tiny planes, man, that land on the water. You just fly them around.
Yeah.
Jeez. Jeremy wants
excited
to
about
get
that.
in and get a Rapid Troop Sucks plane for all of us. Let's
Wanna
pal
do a
around
loop-de-loop on
on Let's pal around on a lake.
5 men dead in preventable accident.
That'll be the
Use that
next
allowed-
It's
day.
only a 4-seater, man.
be the next day
exceeded the weight
headline.
limit.
Colin was standing there watching and filming as we landed on him. We'll make sure we all die together. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It's the
So-
Rapid Troop Sucks way.
Did the previous tour guide also have a plane? The one that got crushed by the car? How were they going to get there originally?
See, honestly, I thought they were going to do this by boat the whole time.
I did too. When they got in that plane,
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh, if you can take a plane to where you're going, why are you where you are right now? Why didn't you just fly to the place you wanted to go to?"
Yeah.
You have to get to that one plane.
Yeah, they wanted to go to that bar.
I think he was there for the titty bar.
I think you have to assemble it like a video game. Like find battery, find propeller.
I see.
That's exactly what it was.
Right.
Find steering console.
Yeah, the key was in a cigar box in a room somewhere.
The key was in your heart the whole time.
You had to get a crest. Yeah. Okay.
Told you just got to mentally unlock someone's brain.
Listen.
Mind key.
Okay.
I just mind keyed that guy, Mike.
I was thinking about a hang glider.
Yeah, I want to get
Mind
mind
key.
keyed into enjoying Buck's outfit that he has on. for
What's
this-
up with that
this
hat?
extravagant
The hat is strong.
adventure.
The hat looks like he's an Irishman about to go like shoot arrows in the woods.
Yeah, it's like
Mixed with an Andy cap.
It's like he's about to be in a Ricola ad, but instead of a feather, he's got shotgun shells.
Dude, he has on. So he's going into the jungle, and he has on like
shave with the
freshly
gauge.
bleached white pants, like
Vanilla
just
looking.
heading off into the wilderness.
Yeah,
I don't see the problem.
yeah, he's got like a crisp Oxford button-down shirt with the sleeves ripped off,
Yes,
as one does.
that's the attire. That's what you get in the village. They're
That's
known
the
for that.
Buck way.
Yeah, that's
know-
all their tailor knows how to make.
If you assemble all three pieces of that, you get a defense bonus.
Oh,
That's Buckware.
Nice. You have like +3 against alligators.
We should open up a Buckware line on the RTS store.
okay.
We could do that. Like an alligator like hood that goes
Yeah.
over your face.
Nice.
That's right.
That like turns into a cape.
You would have to.
On the back it just says buckhole.
Oh,
So like the butthole from The Good Place.
Could be.
Yeah. Guys want to come hang out in my butthole? Okay.
For isolated audio clips, feel free to reach out to us at rabbittroopspodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Did you call it the buck line of clothes?
It's how he's buck assembling himself every morning. He puts himself together,
Terrible look.
powders his face, puts on his buck line, looks in the mirror, does a little dance like it was, Silence of the Lambs.
Only
you think
have-
if Buck had a pet, he would name him Butters, Buck and Butters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do now.
I have one note about
My
this.
dream.
This plane fly over this montage. The sound or the soundtrack sounded like cable home shopping network music.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
And
yeah, it was like
way too
whimsical.
long.
Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
But that was the point of it, I guess. They're just showing them flying around upside down, jockeying.
Yeah, I do
around,
love some of the
whatever.
shenanigans while flying around. Like, people are jumping out of boats, people are running across bridges. Like, this guy is a menace in the sky. Like, clearly, this guy's a jackass. Like, I don't know why anyone is dealing with this guy's nonsense whatsoever. I kind of say that as like a really missed opportunity because you see more of these menacing scenes of Tennessee Buck, and it could have like played to his like, I don't know, like weird jackass mystique, but instead he's just like terrorizing this whole village. Then they land on another area and there's like 50 people who greet him
yes.
immediately. And then we see there's like, I don't know, like 200 to 300 people in this like island village. Buck keeps warning. He's like, across like this area that like beyond these village borders, there is like a carnivorous tribe and they want to kill you. They will hunt you down and kill you. Like, I'm very serious. The whole time Ken's like, he's joking, baby. And he's like, I'm really not. Like, he eventually is like, I lived with them. Like, they will kill you. Do not go beyond there. But the thing I want to note is they land on this like island town and everyone's like, oh, Buck. And they throw this like killer party. And, this is where we're getting to this other woman who's just like shaking it. Buck doesn't even bring a gift. Like, they apparently know this guy. I, for the life of me, in any culture, cannot imagine you would not bring the chief of this village something. A cigar that you were smoking, whatever. Like,
oh, that cigar's in his hat. Maybe that's what it was for.
the gifting cigar. Yeah. I just say that because I'm like, ma'am, like, you are the only outside source this village has ever seen. Like, bring anything.
Paul,
I brought you this rock.
gift
That's
he-
number one, Rico.
he is the gift.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And Tennessee
That's
Buck
right.
is the gift of this tribe. His mere presence makes them all
cocaine.
happy.
I mean, he unsheathes it, so
You say cocaine?
You got the full buck right there.
Did he do a buck line of cocaine?
Yes.
Okay.
The buck did not stop there.
Oh.
So that night, yeah, party time. So they're just like eating some food. Ken and Barb are getting super excited. Like, oh my God, this food's delicious. And he's like, and Buck's like, yeah, man, it's monkey. Yeah, we got monkey. So yeah, they're eating some monkey. They don't like that. This woman comes out and is just dancing
Shaking
nude.
them.
Yeah, she's shaking it all. The scene is quite long.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change a thing.
No, it was the appropriate length.
Every single scene in this movie is so long. This one too, but this one's all right.
Yeah.
And it has Ken just captivated.
Yeah, Ken's really into this.
Yeah, Ken's freaking out, and you could tell like Barbara at this point in time is like really off put. Tennessee Buck just picks up the woman and leaves.
Yeah.
Like he talks to the chief. The chief's like, ah ha ha, and he tells Ken, he's like, I talked to the chief. We could both have her tonight. And he's like, oh, really? Yeah, Barbara's not super excited about this. And he's like, no, I can't. And then Tennessee Buck's like, okay, and then picks her up and leaves.
Yeah. Well, Barbara's also not really excited about the sex that she has later because Ken just falls asleep
Yeah.
mid-bone.
Well, she's thinking about that buck tool.
Yeah.
Buck chops.
The buck knife?
And Ken is
30 buck
just
chuck.
Yeah.
thrusting away like a savage animal in the tent with his
Yeah.
perfectly natural sex moans.
So there was a gag in the scene that I really liked. All throughout the movie, people are calling Barbara baby, and she always corrects them, but it's usually like in an introductory sense. But while they're fucking, he's like, "Oh, baby." And she just looks at him and she's like, "It's Barbara." I thought that was honestly a really some good writing.
The next day, they're like toying around with guns in the morning, and then they shoot a leopard. So that was
Yeah.
the
Whoops.
thing that just,
Well, yeah, they were
Why not?
because Ken thought that he was a better shot than Buckaroo Banzai.
yeah, they do a little
Yeah.
bet, and
Well, it's weird because earlier Ken was like, "He's the best gunman in the world,"
Yeah,
and like
see.
I can
Like,
shoot
I can
better.
beat him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ken is like a little child throughout the
Ken
entire
is a
movie.
dipshit.
Ken's like that German dude in Three Amigos. Like, I learned from you, but like no one could ever do that shot. And he's like, I did those shots.
Yeah.
He's like, no one could ever do those shots. And then Buck proves him wrong. He shoots like a can with a handgun like 7 times in the air, and he's like, you owe me money. And then he shoots a leopard.
There you go.
And everyone's like, ooh, Bucky
Bucky.
balls.
Oh God. No one was ready for that.
Jeremy is now inside out, full of liquid. I'm watching
Yeah.
it happen.
It was a sweet, sweet whiskey burn right there.
And so, well, they go off into the woods, and exactly what Bucky warned about. He's like, hey, based on the shit that I just found, some people are eating people. And I could tell that.
Like literal shit. He
Yeah.
finds human poo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, and the way he's like, we got to get out of there. And then they're just like overcome with like these, cannibals. And so they kill most of the people they're with, and they take the assistant and Buck and Ken
I like
and Barbara and tie
how
him up
Buck throws a gun at one of them and
out
just
of a
kills
tree.
him.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Buck
was
shooting
way up there,
everyone.
too.
And then eventually starts running out of bullets. And as Jeremy notes, throws a gun. He takes a handgun, throws it a couple 100 feet into a tree, and a guy just falls out of it. So, hey, Buck's a man of many means.
Yeah.
Whatever he needs. Then he takes his like shotgun or elephant gun, just swing beating people.
Yeah.
So,
And then he eventually throws that at somebody.
yeah. So huge,
it's not enough.
No.
huge rip-off scene from Return of the Jedi right here. I mean, this is like almost like identical. They get kind of in some booby traps as they're running around, and these like tribal people catch them, and they're really like in awe of Barbara. She has like really like golden blonde hair, much like C-3PO. It's like One Step Boy. But they tie her up too. They're only in awe for a moment, and then they bring them to a village to eat them, just like literally like the Ewoks were going to do with Han Solo, Luke, and Chewbacca, and R2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they kind of get out of this a little bit in a weird way. So the deal is, after just kind of like hanging around and being strung up, first Buck knows their language, and I also want to note this is where the movie starts getting darker for me. Not extra dark yet, but like this is like now a little more like, hey, this isn't as fun, but still kind of fun right now. So Buck speaks their language and basically is able to talk Ken. And I can't remember the sidekick's name.
Patapo or what? It doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, somewhere I have this guy's name written down.
Tanaga or something like that.
Tanaga, that's right.
So they are both cut down, and Ken's like, I could go. They're like, yeah, and the assistant's gonna look after you, and they're like, why? They're like, well, it's called like the moon hunt, and they're gonna try to hunt you for sport. You could try to get away, and they just like bolt.
Yeah.
Ken freaks out and like goes like the wrong way, and the assistant's like, do not go this way. He's like, whatever, do you see my white skin? I'm in charge, dipshit. So the assistant falls down like a tiger trap, and we think he's dead. He's not. I'm gonna spoil that right now.
God.
We only find out later.
Yeah.
But we think he's dead, and Ken runs off, and we see him like battle some tribal people. That's kind of it. So also Barbara is cut down. We don't really know why, and they're like, well, they're not gonna kill her. We then see a scene where she is completely nude and all these people are oiling her up. It is like a very uncomfortably weird scene.
It is.
Yeah, especially since she seems to kind of be enjoying it.
She does seem to be enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we see her again, and they throw Ken's head into where she is being tied up. Ken is super dead. They beheaded him. And Mike knows where I'm going with this, still find this the darkest part. This has now kind of ruined the happy-go-lucky vibe for me in this film. And I'm like, damn, like people are like dead. And you think back, like in Indiana Jones, people do die. But damn, like it's very rare that you're seeing like someone holding a head, people being captured and tied up. And really, this goes too far for me. Then this dude, like the new chief or chief's son who's become chief, comes in and rapes Barbara. And part of the trivia Mike was noting is the scene was supposed to be longer. I don't know, based on like the trivia on IMDb.
Well, I don't know that we can take whoever wrote this as a credible source.
Okay.
Because it sounds like a fantasy of this person's. Can I rewind for a second?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, there's a sexual assault. Rewind a bit. Severed head of the husband. Rewind a bit. Oil. Rewind a bit more. So right now we're into the dark times. Right before this happens, they're all strung up.
The chief.
And they're like, hey, let's get the chief out here. So they throw a rock at this hut, and it starts like some zany big band music.
The music is bonkers.
Yeah.
It's like bam now, bam, bam,
yeah, it's like it's basically yakety sax. And the chief like comes out. He's got like
He just pokes his head out.
Yeah,
It's like,
he like a naked woman comes out. He
Jeremy.
pushes her away. He grabs like a hat and he just like kind of tumbles down a hill. Like this scene is fucking bananas. And then it is immediately followed up with a woman being served her husband's severed head and then sexually assaulted.
Yeah, I mean, so when they come back to this, like, so yes, I'm glad Mike brought back the fun of this film.
Right.
Like, I love the music, I love what's happening, but yeah, everything that happens to Barbara is bullshit.
It
Like,
is.
this should have been ruled out of the film. This is like, it went from zany fun into, even if Ken was gonna die, you're still like, oh my god, just the rape did not need to happen.
No.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Like again, the last 20 minutes for this movie, I just feel need to be reworked. And
To bring it back to a fun place, the chief, the one who ziplined out of his hut, is killed by a monkey dropping a piece of sharp fruit on
That's
his head.
right.
So that made it fun for everybody.
And so the Sanaga is the assistant's name.
Sanaga, okay.
Sanaga is the assistant's name. So yeah, we are under the illusion he's dead. So I'm also going to give you a little more of Tennessee Buck's backstory because he later tells it, but I'm going to tell it now because a lot of things make more sense going forward. So he's wearing this amulet. So the story of the amulet is this. Years ago, he kind of crash landed near this village of these like cannibals, and his wife and his child died in this crash, but then he lived in the village for 3 years.
With the cannibals eating people.
Right. And he was like, and he even says like to Barbara, he's like, oh yeah, I ate some people.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's not bad.
Long pig.
kind of sweet, kind of sweet meats, big beef.
Big beef.
That's what they call it, the big beef.
And he's like, well, like over a course of time, like I saved like the chief's kid. Was that it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, his wife and his kid died in like a plane crash. They found him, and then he saved the chief's daughter.
Yeah.
And he was grateful, so he gave him that.
He's
medallion.
like, yeah, here's this amulet, and if you wear it, people you can never die. I also want to know, like, he lived in this village for 3 years. You would think a lot of people would be like, "Oh my god,
it's T-Bucks. He's back."
Right? It's like this big,
Where were you, big guy?
whiskey-soaked white man.
Who was the old woman?
How'd you get those pants so white?
That was the wife, or like the friend of like the chief. That's why she let him down.
So that was.
She was one of the very few that recognized him. I guess they got like a whole new tribe. It's just like whatever.
Well, they've eaten a lot of people, so
they've eaten them all, so they have to replace them
cycle
all.
through pretty quick.
And so now that the chief is dead, this younger chief who abused Barbara is now in charge. He wants this amulet. But Buck is able to get free, and he sneaks out and is able to get Barbara, and they sneak out of the village together. They take out a couple people along the way, and then they basically start running.
He gets his hat and his cigar back.
Yeah. He's super happy. He's got a cigar under his hat, which is like his lucky cigar, even though he's smoking cigars all throughout. He also conveniently then has sex with Barbara, I don't know, 20 feet away from where they need to get to. She falls down, and he's like, "Oh my God, you fell." And she's like, "Yeah." And then
Well, she had fire ants on her, didn't she?
Oh, that's right. She has fire ants. And then he washes them off and then has sex.
Yeah, he's
in
like,
a
"Ooh,
little
yeah,
pool.
I'm going to wash them right off your titties."
Yeah, as one does. I mean, it's just basic survival stuff.
Yeah. Like, okay, this is, I have a note about this. Not more than, what, a couple hours, maybe?
Correct.
A man walked into this lady's fucking hut,
It wasn't even
threw her severed husband's head into her lap, and then did things that we don't want to mention.
Correct.
She's on the run now from this guy, gets fire ants on her, and is like, you know what? I'm going to take a whirl of Buck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Let's do this.
is the power of Tennessee Buck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tennessee Buck gets them all oiled up.
What? And they're doing this in like
Oh, yeah.
next to like a little muddy puddle. Yeah. They build a raft.
He threw her into the muddiest little water just to wash off these. I thought they were spiders. I thought he said spiders.
No, they were fire
They're
ants.
fire ants.
Yeah, they were fire ants.
Yeah, she was freaking out until she looked into his eyes in that muddy puddle.
Well, and that's another thing, because Lamar, after they do the deed, they construct a fucking like Tom Sawyer raft.
Yeah.
Yep. they go up road.
I thought I wrote down Zelda Breath of the Wild raft.
Sure.
It looked like it was just 4 logs tied together with whatever. Then it went upstream and it immediately wiped out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the villagers are like throwing spears and various other things. They also shoot arrows, and they shoot an arrow right into her.
Into her cooter.
Right into her.
And he's like, the only way to help you is I got to suck the poison out. And
Yeah.
so catch me,
And
I'm
they
falling.
don't show this.
No.
Falling in love with you.
Right.
Catch me, I'm falling.
And it's like-
do.
She's like, pull the arrow out. I'm okay, right? It wasn't that deep. He's like, no, it's poison. She's like, oh, fuck. He's like, I'm going to suck that shit out of your beaver. And she's like, fuck yeah.
Just like the song I was singing by Pretty Poison, which I believe is also from 1988.
Yeah. Like her attitude turns right around.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Then they're like, oh my God, we're going down over the falls. The falls are like, Jeremy, I've been in the rivers in Missouri. Like those are like that. Like they went over like 10-foot falls. Like, oh my
Oh
God.
yeah,
Or-
like this is like these are tubing falls. Like
Yeah.
you would be in an inner tube. You're like, oh, this is fun. Shh.
Yeah.
Yay.
yeah. He's like, are you okay? She's like, yeah. I was like,
Like, I
all
think I
right.
got some water in my beer.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. They then get back to the friendlier area of the island where I thought their kind of go-to was they were like calling for help from those villagers.
No.
They're not.
No.
They're just trying to run to their plane.
Yeah.
But
And
they
they
do.
do.
Yeah, they do. But then some baddies, like the carnivorous people, they come out and they're like, I eat you.
Yeah. Well, new chief grabs onto the plane.
Yeah, he takes a little ride.
Yeah.
Hang on, baby. You going for a little ride?
Dude, this is the stupidest shit I have ever seen. Yeah, that chief's not fucking grabbing onto that airplane.
Oh, he's
like
grabbing.
it's like the fucking scene from what the fuck, Star Night, where like Harvey Keitel's like banging on the exterior of like the fucking metal spaceship.
Yeah.
Like, I'll get you, bitch.
Hey, I thought this was very reminiscent of that epic battle scene we saw in Die Hard 2.
Yes, Die Hard 2 fight scene. I have it right.
Yeah, that's where we're at. We're die-harding it too. You didn't think Tennessee Buck would go there? Well, he did it before John McClane did.
Yeah.
He's fighting on a plane. He's fighting a snake on a plane.
Yeah.
Why did he give the amulet to that man at the end?
I don't know. He was tired of all this good luck.
Yeah, it brought a big burden.
Yeah, the guy who
on him.
abused Barbara, like, hey, killed your husband and abused you. Like, here's the amulet you wanted.
Yeah,
you
great.
can never die. Bye.
Yeah.
So
You're a
aside
winner.
from a light stab wound, he had a pretty good day.
Yeah, so basically, Jeremy is noting the end of the film. They're
Well, we're
flying
at
off.
it, basically.
Yeah, like they're flying off, and they successfully get the new chief off the plane, and he falls like 100 feet, and you're like, he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
But then they quickly show that he falls in the river, and he's okay. And he's like, I'm so pissed off. And Tennessee Buck is with Barbara. and they're
Tanaga.
yeah.
Yeah, he's
Panaga,
back.
whatever his name is. Yeah, he pops up from the backseat. Like, they're probably getting ready to, like, fucking jack each other off, Jack
Right.
and Jill style. And he just pops up.
A little,
He's like, "Hey, guys,
tugger.
what are you doing
in
up
the
there?"
airplane? Yeah.
There's the real little tugger in the back. He's like, I thought you were
Sanaga,
dead.
damn it, Sanaga.
I thought you were dead, Sanaga. He's like, nope.
Yeah, he's like, nope. And they're like, and then they play the Perfect Strangers theme song and credits roll.
Yeah, that's it.
Pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Standing tall on the wings of my dreams. That's enough of that.
God help us.
Could you guys actually make it through the whole thing if you had to?
No.
I could mumble
I
it.
can get,
No, but do you know
Oh,
all the
God,
words?
no.
get 75% of it.
Wow, 75 is pretty good.
Lamar and I were singing the Who's the Boss theme song the other day.
Could you
That
get
was-
through the whole thing?
of Who's the Boss?
Yeah.
Who's the boss? I can get
I
95%.
could get more of Who's the Boss.
Okay.
But not a Perfect
Not all.
Strangers.
What about the facts of life?
Well, you take the good.
Take the bad.
Take it all.
Take
The
them both in
facts
there.
of
Yeah.
life. Is there any more? The facts of
Is that it?
time.
There's not
No,
more?
there's like a
Ooh,
story.
there is.
there.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah,
want
listen,
to.
like,
You don't want to be
repeat.
fucking with that.
There you bought a trampoline,
Oh, it gets
bouncing
weird.
in and bouncing out, and that's what you have to shout about the facts. All about you. You.
I didn't know that part.
Mrs. Garrett.
So we're going to karaoke next week.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
singing TV
singing
themes.
show tunes.
I'm so down.
Get off the stage. Shut up. That's what Joe and Blair would have wanted.
We're here till 2. I don't care.
We're here to tootie. That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Nice.
Jeremy's wrecking his world. He's moving desks.
Oh, he's elevating.
Yeah, so basically the plane flies off. Sanaga is alive. Barbara's like, wow, and they fly off, and that's it. And that's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, as noted, they kind of loop back around, and Buck drops the amulet to the new chief. She's like, why did you give that to him? He's like, I'm sick of all of his luck. Then really flies off, and I don't know, smoking a cigar or something.
I would have kept the amulet.
Probably.
Yeah.
Seems like a thing you'd want around.
Even if
Like
you
it's a
don't want
cannibal
it,
amulet.
I wouldn't have given it to that guy.
Right? Like, why?
No, he seems like a major dick.
That's the thing. Like, if the end of this movie was like, let's drop this in a volcano, like the goddamn Lord of the Rings ring, like
Right.
that makes more sense. Like, where you literally just gave this to the most villainous person of the movie, like
Right.
solid.
Like, that guy won. The bad guy won. He got what he wanted.
He had
Right.
the biggest smile on his face. at the
'Cause now he
end.
can't
won.
die.
Yeah.
He's like, it was all worth it.
He got everything he wanted.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything that bad that happened to him except
You know-
the little stabbing that
Yeah.
you said.
There's a light stabbing.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna use a Mighty Ducks term on this guy. This guy's a real cake eater.
Oh, wow.
There I said
All
it.
right, I'll one
There I
up you
said
on
it.
this. I think that the fucking cannibals should have gotten their own little planes, and like there should have been a dogfight scene at the end.
Nice.
That'd have been great.
Yeah, that would have been great.
You save that for the further adventures of Tennessee.
Yeah.
They've got like
The
hot air
direct-
balloons like in Waterworld.
Like,
They're up there
the
like
Zack
floating around.
Snyder cut. Like,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
That'd be good.
There you go. TM that shit, man. The Zack Snyder cut. He just goes back and rework, like adds fucking dope action scenes.
So we
To,
ever wanted.
to
And
fucking
in the final
horrible
showdown
movies.
between the new chief and Buck, he's like, Martha! And then they have like a good
They were all named Martha.
Yeah.
Martha was my dog.
Martha was the husky woman who let him out.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That was Martha, too.
And it was also the name of
Martha
Tennessee
Nargo.
Buck's son.
And they all learned to cook from Martha Stewart, so they have food in common. Snoopaloop.
Yeah. Then Martha and Snoopaloop show up.
Before we
Yeah.
get into the end of the zaniness that is Tennessee Buck and the further adventures of, feel free to reach out to us at rabbittroopsuckspodcast@gmail.com. If there's anything you have to note about movies like this and the insanity that we just watched, feel free to share those thoughts with us. Have you been in films? Do you have insight to films? Let us know. rabbittroopsuckspodcast@gmail.com. Go to our website proper, rabbittroopsucks.com. We have links to merchandise. We have some of our episodes posted there. We have links to pictures and various other things. Hit us up there, whatever. We're also on social media, Facebook and Instagram, and we are everywhere podcasts play. I always say I like to use the podcast app on my phone. I know people are going to Amazon or Spotify. You can go to YouTube, various other places. If there's one place there are podcasts, we are there. So hit us up. Feel free to please leave us reviews. That's how people know about this, and feel free to share this. Some of you I know sometimes forward our posts. That's awesome. And you have been writing us online. Thank you very much. Continue to do so. We love writing back. Jeremy, what did you think about the further adventures of Tennessee Buck from 1988?
This movie was fun to talk about, but nobody should really try to seek this out and watch it. I know that David Keith's been in some other roles. Maybe there's like a David Keith fan club out there. But those people have probably already seen this. The rest of the world, they don't need to view this. It's fine. There's other things that are better. That being said, though, it was fun to talk about. I think it'll make for a pretty good episode. But yeah, like this movie could have been so much better without those scenes that were in there, and they could have elaborated on some other things. It still would have probably not been a good movie, but it would have been better. For that, yeah, I don't like it, but I had fun with it.
Did the buck stop there for you?
Yeah, it did. The buck stops right here.
If I told you, much like Remo Williams, there's 150 books to highlight up until this time what the adventures were, would you be able to read them for us? No, I wouldn't. You know, if those books were like about how What if they were read? What if they were read audio wise by Wilford Brimley?
It's just Buck and Kathy Showers like exploring the 31 ways to.
Imagine an old
Like ultimate
in Wilford
pleasure.
Brimley's like old bloodhound kind of voice and jowls. We're gonna buck him out forced.
It's
I was in
it's just-
Cocoon.
it's just Buck and Kathy cuckolding with Wilford Brimley
We're all in Cocoon. I came back.
as he's taking diabetes medication.
Wait, who's cuckolding who in this
I
scenario?
know. I was gonna ask, who's the cock?
I think we're the cuck in this.
We just got cucked. Lamar, what are you thinking about Tennessee Buck?
I had fun.
Tennessee.
I had fun talking about this movie with you guys, but this movie sucked.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's so fucking bad.
I didn't care for this movie at all. I'm sorry.
Stellar reviews.
Yeah, sorry. Fun talking about it. I'm glad I got through it once. I'm glad I experienced it once, but that's all I'm going to experience it is just once. I'm not going to watch it again. All of the scenes in this movie are just way too long. All of them. All of them. Even the titty shaking scene, I would argue. They were nice,
Whoa,
but they just kept going. Well, come on, man. I mean, she was nice, but that scene was just, and half of it was more of just
She's
Ken
proud
just,
of them.
She was proud. She
very
was
proud
whipping
of
them around. I was proud
she's
of.
like, look at these.
Hey,
things,
man,
guys.
I was proud of those
You believe These
titties.
grew out of me.
I was proud of them for her. And her ass, too. She had it all on display. But, God, half of that scene was just Ken and his jaw on the floor. Whatever.
I was in Cocoon.
All these scenes are long, and they equate to nothing. It's just extend this long story of boringness. I had fun talking about this movie. Watching it, I did not. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. And halfway through the movie was absolutely bonkers.
So would you say, Lamar, watching it, you had fun? No.
No. And I want to make a comment about the soundtrack. Jeremy, you said it was all right. Paul, did you say?
Yeah,
it was
I mean,
all right?
there was some. There were some like moments where you're like, yeah, this does feel like they're trying to make it. And
Yeah, it feels like
outside of those zany, like the first chief pops out and you're like, what that? It was like wow, 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 like that. Like there were like this more like epic adventure. Like there were I should say there were moments in the score that I thought, okay, this could be in like Romancing the Stone. Like
agree with
driving scenes or something like that. Like it would have made sense.
Yeah, to get through those scenes, I thought the background music or the score, just to get through those, except for that one scene, the montage of the planes flying over, I made a comment about it sounding like a Home Shopping Network on cable.
Yes.
And most of the soundtrack kind of sounded like that too. I did not care for it, but it was background noise that didn't offend me, except for that sneaky little sax they put in there. You remember that sax part?
Yeah, that's sexy.
Yeah, I didn't care for this movie. Fuck it.
Mike, what did you think?
So I'm going to just ignore the sexual assault part because that really bummed me out. And if that's like a trigger for you, you should never watch this movie. You probably shouldn't watch this movie anyway, but especially if that's triggering for you, you shouldn't, because it's a bummer and it totally sucks. The bummer about watching movies like this, because this is a bad movie. Everyone here is correct. The bummer about watching a movie like this for me is like I like watching movies like this. When we watch this movie ahead of doing a recording, like we're kind of like we're joking around, but we're taking notes. Like no one's getting like blasted or anything. If we had watched this movie together, had some drinks, not been taking notes about trying to make a podcast, I would have enjoyed this movie a lot more. That would have been a more fun experience. Because this movie, like, yeah, it's fun. It's pretty stupid. It's pretty zany, aside from the essay. And it's the kind of thing I like to watch. Watching it with like trying to be insightful and write down jokes to tell and have some kind of content for an hour and a half of a podcast, like that made it less fun. And of course the bummer parts made it less fun, but it's not a good movie, but I feel like I would have enjoyed watching it in a different circumstance. And I guess that's really all I can say about it, because it's not good. No one is good in it. Even the titty scene was too long. But yeah, like I could see myself having fun, like if I was a little blasted and watching it with you guys.
Yeah, we should have definitely had a couple drinks on this movie. I think the good thing, the part I'm disagreeing with Mike, I understand Mike's point of view. I'm glad we immediately talked about this. We've recorded podcasts in different ways, and sometimes, which is more of a rare way for us, is like we've watched the movie all independently earlier in the week and then discussed it like 5 days later.
That's less fun, yeah.
Yeah, this movie would have been a real extra
no one would
bummer
have
if we
liked
did
it.
that. If I had to wait 5 days, like I am glad we immediately were like, all right, let's just start talking about this film, hit record. So that kind of saved it for me. I feel like not having like a gap in it, like definitely saved it, because I feel in a way I didn't take like a ton of notes on this one, and I don't think a lot of us did. So I still feel like kind of watched it and just like winged it. The end is still a bummer. Even Ken just getting like decapitated like this, I was like, that like immediately sets off like a darker vibe.
That whole scene was weird. Like, yeah, he's decapitated. Like the chief's like looking down. The new chief is looking down on her, and you're like, what's gonna happen. And you're like, oh goddamn. Dude,
yeah, I'm like, yeah. So there's like a couple things that just happened. I just really wish the end was reworked. I agree with Mike. Like, I had fun with this movie. As schlocky as it is, as weird as it is, like this is like a fun movie at its core. It's like stupid and fun. But yeah,
like right after that scene when they escape, he rescues her and he escapes. Like they build a raft, which is just fucking ridiculous. Then all the village guys, like they get on like logs and like ride them like horses down there.
Yeah,
and it goes like back to being zany again. And you're like, God, like yeah, why did they do that?
Giddy up, Shadowfax.
It's so discombobulated.
Yeah,
how their zaniness comes in.
It's bizarre. This movie needs a lot of fixes, but it's really the last 20 minutes that need to be fixed up. All the terrible cutscenes, the things that we don't know about, the disharmony that we talked about in transition and editing, it could all be still redeemable and fun, but the last 20 minutes is just like a bummer of a thing. And then it just kind of ends, so it's kind of weird. I, again, do like all of it up until that point in time. It's pretty ridiculous, but I wouldn't recommend this film.
No.
Usually we're like, should we watch it together alone? If you are going to watch it, definitely watch it with people. Do what Mike said. Have some drinks with friends. Watch this as is, but you're probably only watching it once in the bigger scheme.
If you're gonna like get drunk at MSTK, this thing, go for it. But otherwise, don't watch it.
So do not be alone in a room.
You load
no,
this
you
up
shouldn't.
on like your
shouldn't be.
$150,000 home theater system. Like, oh, I'm ready to settle in for this one.
Also,
No, don't do that.
Not that this is indicative of how it was filmed, although it did look like it. We watched this in 4:3, which is very odd for like a theatrical release of a movie. Was this like a made for hotel kind of thing, or
Maybe.
like it was too nuderific to be like a made for TV movie. Like what? Where did this movie come
Welcome
from?
to
Well,
Indiana
I think they cut
Hotel.
a lot of nudity out of this. I think there was a lot more nudity filmed.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
We
probably
need to
true.
get the director's cut.
We don't.
we don't. Yeah,
The David Keith.
the Keith cut.
Mind key? You need to mind key some people? Well, we're going to mind key you next week. We're back at it with some 1985. Pray for Death. Jeremy is the only one who's seen this. It's all about a ninja. I am excited about this one. It's listed as a dark comedy, but I think it's more of a drama at its core. I could be wrong on this. But yeah, 1985, Pray for Death. Lamar, you had not seen this, correct?
No, but you had me at 85 and ninjas.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, any last views on the further adventures of Tennessee Buck?
No.
I'm glad
I don't
those
want to
adventures
see any
stopped.
more adventures of Tennessee
Yeah,
Buck.
stop those
I
adventures.
don't want to see the prequel. I don't, yeah.
Jeremy, you're going to see them all in your dreams.
No.
Just like you fans.
Yeah. I don't
And
want
that-
Tennessee Buck in my dreams either.
He's gonna
I want
be
him to
there.
I want him to stay hidden in the pages of my notes on Google.
Well, all of you lovely listeners out there, as always, Rabbit Troop sucks.
Argo!